What's up, Jags fans? It's Jersey Jaguar here, and I have been waiting a very long time to make this video. Excuse my voice, it's more nasally and annoying and congested than it typically is. This day has come. Like I said, I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Didn't have a timetable. Thought it was a lot longer timetable than it ended up being, but today, the NFL kind of dropped a bomb on the rest of the NFL, and definitely a bomb to this Jaguar fan, and I'm assuming a lot of you as well. Calvin Ridley has been reinstated by the NFL and is officially on the Jaguars roster, is officially a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and at any point can show up to our facility. I would expect, probably not today, but I would expect tomorrow, for him to be in some kind of clip, like, what am I trying to say? Some kind of like arrival thing on Twitter and Facebook. I would imagine that Shad Khan is probably going to fly him out first thing in the morning on his private jet or something. Yeah, and we're going to get the ball rolling on it, man. This changes a lot for me. I know I haven't really put out any free agency videos or draft videos, and I apologize about that, but this really does change a lot for the Jaguars, at least in my opinion, because I was thinking that the NFL was going to take their dear old sweet time reinstating him. I honestly did not know if he would be reinstated by the draft. So I have been thinking that wide receiver should definitely be on the table at 24 because Zay Jones only has 2 years left. You have Christian Kirk for the long haul. But outside of that, Jamal Agnew, as it stands right now, is still on the Jaguars roster. Although I'd really like to see him take a salary cut, to be honest, because I don't think he's worth what the Jaguars are paying him to be a wide receiver. Excellent return guy, but not really your traditional receiver. And outside of that, I think Tim Jones is the only other dude on the roster. So, although I definitely still think the Jaguars could address wide receiver maybe within the first 3 rounds of the draft, to me, I think wide receiver is now completely off the board at 24 with Calvin Ridley being back. Because not only is he reinstated, he'll be in the Jaguars building for almost 2 months, little under 2 months. And this will give Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, and the rest of the Jaguars staff, scouting department, everything, a chance to see him up close and personal. He can be in the building. They can actually, because to my knowledge, they have not even met him yet. They have had no one-on-one interaction with him. Now they can have that. Now they can gauge where is he at physically? Is he in shape? I would imagine that he is still. And if he is, and if the Jaguars are going to get Calvin Ridley from 2020, and a little bit he played in 21, Jaguars have a number 1 wide receiver. And wide receiver 24 is no longer an option. Unless something crazy happens, but it's no longer on the table. The Jaguars' starting 3 wide receivers are now Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, with Evan Ingram coming back on the franchise tag, which I wanted to make a video about. Didn't get a chance to, but I'm talking about it now, although I don't know if he'll actually be on the franchise tag by the time the season comes along. It could be like what happened with Cam Robinson last year, where the Jaguars placed the tag on him, and then it ended up turning into a long-term deal. I could definitely see that happening with Evan Ingram. All of my anxiety and all my focus right now when it comes to the Jaguars is on number 75. I do not want to see him play for another team in 2023. The Jaguars need to do everything possible. If the Saints can throw $150 million at Derek Carr when the Saints have been in cap hell for years, I think the Jaguars can find a way to keep Jawan Taylor. That's just me. I know I'm kind of hopping all over the place in this short little video, But Calvin Ridley is officially back. He's officially a Jaguar, and I think it changes a lot. The fact that the NFL was so quick, I think maybe 2 weeks, if that, it took for the NFL to reinstate him. I think it changes a whole lot for the Jaguars, for the good. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's kind of weird that they did it today because this morning there's like a big compilation. It's like a 25-minute compilation of his whole career highlights with the Atlanta Falcons. And I sat and I watched that this morning. And I was like, I don't think I realized how good this dude is. Like, he's really, like, take a slant route and turn it into a 25, 30-yard gain. Like, Calvin Ridley's a legit wide receiver. Jaguars got a weapon for sure. That's all I got for today, you guys. Rejoice, because the Jaguars now have a number one wide receiver to go along with Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. And like I said, maybe in the third round or the second round, if the right guy drops, could the Jaguars still pick up a wide receiver? Because if Zay Jones is your fourth wide receiver, I think you have a really good room. Could that still happen? Sure. But I definitely think after today that wide receiver at 24, if that's something that you were hoping for or thinking of, wasn't number one on my priority, but it was definitely kind of in the thought realm of possibilities. That's off the table now. That is off the table because I think the Jaguars come April 27th, now they're going to know if Calvin Ridley is, if he's in shape, if he's ready to go. They're going to know if he is or not, which I believe he is. So I think 24 now, focus on defensive line. If Osiris Torrance falls, help Trevor keep him upright. Just don't. I think the one thing the Jaguars could do that would make me angry is let Jawan Taylor walk, and instead of committing to Walker Little as right tackle, draft an offensive tackle at number 24. Because for me, that's right now the Jaguars, you need to do whatever you can to compete with the Chiefs in the playoffs, to compete with the Bengals, the Bills. You need to build your roster because the AFC South is ours. I mean, look at the Titans. The Titans they're getting rid of Derrick Henry. Bud Dupree is gone. Robert Woods is gone. They are decimating their roster to hopefully be able to compete with us in the long term. The Texans are about to invest their franchise in a midget in Bryce Young, and the Colts are probably going to end up with C.J. Stroud, who's an Ohio State quarterback. I don't need to say anything more than that. So this division is the Jaguars for the taking for a long, long time. Long, long time. Yeah. That's all I got for you guys. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe button. Go Jags.